This is part 2 of the Liverpool video where we'll be answering some of the questions that you guys sent in on my Instagram story, and we'll also be giving our expectations for Liverpool from this season. If you haven't seen my Instagram yet, please do check it out. I'll put the link in the description. And yeah, if you enjoy, don't forget to like and subscribe. Bas intro khatam. Now let's get on with the video. Earlier today, I put up a story on my Instagram page asking, some of the followers their questions for, the video we are recording today. So we're just going to go through some of them, and, you could just give like a quick, sort of rapid fire answer, or like, go into it a little bit and tell like what your thoughts on this are. So first up is Ashik Xavier's question. Asking, what is Michael Edwards' exit had the effect on Liverpool's transfer strategy and their performance overall?
Um, I think it would have had some effect, but not like if I had to put it on a scale of 1 to 10, I would probably say like 5.5 to 6. Because
Mm-hmm.
like while him leaving was a huge blow to the club, I think like when he like during his time there, like the club as a whole got to understand like the signings he was making, or like we learned the Edwards way, if it makes sense. We understood his approach, and you can see that with the signings we've made in this window as well. But again,
Mm-hmm.
it's just like using his philosophy, but he's still not there, right? So it's gonna be a loss, but I don't think it's gonna make a huge difference. I think
Mm-hmm.
um I think we'll be fine. I think our
Okay.
transfers over the last 5, 6 seasons have been pretty good, like mostly due to
Mm-hmm.
him. And he brought in the culture, or at least like he helped us identify the right players. Like he streamlined our scouting process. So
Mm-hmm.
that's a huge credit to him for that. But I think like we'll be fine without him. The club moves on always. We've lost bigger players and bigger managers too. I think we'll be fine.
Okay, next we have the lone hustlers question. Do you think Trent is going to play more at fullback or more in midfield next season?
Personally, I would want him to play more in midfield, but I don't see that happening because we signed two brand new number eights and they're both probably gonna play together. So unfortunately, I think at least like uh the start of the season, Trent is gonna play right back. He's gonna start as right
Mm-hmm.
back, and then depending on how the new boys settle in, I think that's when Klopp will decide if it's time for Trent to move into midfield or not. And for Trent to move into midfield, we need a right back. So as long as we like till the time we don't have a right back, I don't see Trent playing in midfield like long term or like full time. We need like
Mm-hmm.
even if not a right back, I would still play like even Gomez can play right back or like Henderson can play right back. Basically, you need a guy who's
Oh,
gonna
come
sit back and
on, come
no,
on.
no, like see, I mean it in a soft sense. So like Hendo's role in the team was
Bro,
basically
Hendo up against any winger in the Premier League, he will get skinned. Like, he will get skinned.
it happens to Trent too. What's the difference?
Yeah, but at least Trent, there's some upside to Trent being in the team, right?
No, I mean
Like,
like what I meant to
Hendo.
say was like a player who's just gonna stay back. Because like most
Mm-hmm.
of our attacks over the years have been from our fullbacks, right? Robertson somehow like manages to defend. Trent, we all know how good Trent is at defending. So if we get like a defensive right back or like the player we would like a centre back who can play right back or as a fullback, Colwell
Mm-hmm.
can't play right back, right? You need someone
Correct.
else. So if we manage to find a player, I think that's the main thing we need to sign right now, like a right
Mm-hmm.
back or like a centre back, a defensive fullback. I'm gonna put it that way.
Correct.
So I think if we have a
Okay.
defensive fullback, then Trent and midfield 100%, 100%.
Perfect. Okay. Then we have Rifa 3564's question. How do you see Subotzlai and McAllister both fitting into the starting 11? Or, do you see both of them starting right away, or how do you see them starting the season?
I don't see both of them starting right away. I think Klopp has
Mm-hmm.
always been a bit cautious about integrating new players into the team. I think, apart from Salah, Mane, and Firmino, apart from our front three, all the players we've signed were slowly transitioned into the team. I remember even when Fabinho came in, it was only around November, December that he started playing every match as our number 6, and that's when he made his position his own, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I still think we'll start match day one with probably McAllister or Dominic starting, not both of them. I definitely don't see both of them starting on the opening day.
Mm-hmm.
Hendo is probably still going to play for the first 2-3 months till the other new guys are like completely settled in.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like Europa League starts in mid September, I think.
Correct. Yeah.
I think that's when you'll probably start seeing these two play more and more regularly. I think it's going to take at least 3-4 weeks for us to
Mm-hmm.
figure out what the best way of getting these two into the team is. I don't quite know if like a Fabinho, McAllister, and Sobotzalai midfield is going to work.
Work.
In
True.
theory, it sounds like it can, but you never know.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Yeah.
thing, one thing we don't consider is the way we play. Klopp's whole way of training his players, preparing his players. It's just physical exertion, and which is why it's happened to so many players. Players come in from different leagues, different clubs, and they start getting injured more because of how physical and how gruesome our like training processes. So I hope
Hmm.
these guys don't like get injured that often, and like let's just see. I don't like. I think quick answer would be like no. I don't see both of them starting right away. It's gonna take time, and it's
Okay.
fine.
Yeah, I think next we have I am a gunner's question. Could this be Klopp's last season if he fails to win a single trophy and finishes outside the top six?
I think like trophies are not a main expectation going into the season. Like
Mm-hmm.
probably at best, I want to say like we should win the Europa League, but we said that the last time too, and then like Sevilla happened. So
Mm.
I don't know. I don't think it'll be his last season, but I definitely think like Klopp is towards the end of his tenure at Liverpool. I think
Mm.
he said this like multiple times in the past that he's always wanted to retire early
Mm-hmm.
into his like early or mid 60s. So I want to say like 2-3 years. I think his contract is up till 2026, 2025 or 2026.
Mm-hmm. So
And
he
I
has a
hope,
couple of years.
yeah, he has a couple of years. So I don't think he'll be renewing it. I don't think he'll get sacked even if we don't like win any trophies. He's just been too good for the club, and even if we do sack him, there's no one who's even half as good as him that we can go and replace him with.
Mm.
So I think like top four should happen. Honestly, I
Mm-hmm.
think like top four should happen this year, and hopefully Europa League.
Okay. Next we have Yash Bhagwatula's question. So after, like we've discussed a lot of the players that Liverpool could sign, but if you could summarize just in a short, just telling the names of the players, are there any other signings that Liverpool should make to better their title chances? So if you had to name like two players, just two more signings that Liverpool
Two
could
dream
make, who would they
signings.
be? Two, yeah, dream, but not like Mbappe signing, like a little realistic, like who could actually come.
I want to say a right back who's. I don't want to say any names. I just want. I'll give you a type of profile that I'm looking at. I want a right
Mm-hmm.
back who's probably like your Walker or your Trippier.
Okay.
Like that sort of a right back for
Mm-hmm.
one, and another would be like probably like defense only, like Levi Cole, like a left-sided, left-footed center back who can play left back too. We need like I think like defense is our main thing. I think like
Mm-hmm.
someone like these two would be the players I would say because I think like everyone everywhere else is covered or I think we can like work around the issues everywhere else. But I think it's our defense which has been a bit too shaky for my liking.
Okay. I think the next question is really gonna pull at your heartstrings. It's from AKR 314256. Do you miss the front three of Firmino, Mane, and Salah? And do you think anyone is capable of filling their shoes?
Uh Tell me a Liverpool fan in the world who does not miss our front three, bro. Like
Hmm.
obviously like we miss him. I like losing Bobby definitely like hurt way too much. I think even seeing Mane leave the way he did and for the price he did, it was a bit too sad. Seeing like arguably like the greatest front three of in our club's history just like get reduced to this is definitely sad. But I
Hmm.
think uh, the game goes on. The game is the game. We'll definitely have more players, but they won't. I don't think any front three will probably come close to replacing what we had. I think more than the
Okay,
fact
and
that they were really good, it was just like just like it was just so good to see them play together in like harmony and just like chilling, just destroying defenders, just having a laugh about it. That front three was pretty good. I think even like the Premier League as a whole will probably like miss that front three, not just Liverpool fans. It's okay, but you can see it.
okay. I think, and the last question we have is from Tornado and Volcano. He asks, "Will you take Mane back? Given his situation at Bayern, do you see any chance that you could sign Mane back on a free? And is that a sensible signing given the structure of the squad right now?"
um, I would love for him to come back, but I don't think that's happening. Like logically, I think our attack is pretty covered. We have apart from the right wing, I think we have like two players for each position, like two in a front three. I think like we're pretty covered that way. Um, I would not want to sign him now because he's also not the player that he was when he was here. He's also had a couple of
Correct.
bad years. He's also not getting any younger. His confidence is definitely not what it was when he left the club. And with the players we have, I think we'll be all right. But as much as I love him, I don't think like him coming back would really like make a huge difference. The thing I miss about him the most is the spirit he had. He was never afraid to like pick up a fight or like take on players. I still remember when he punted Edison in the face. So like like you need that sort of a player who's like always up for a fight, who's like never afraid
Mhm.
to back down. And I remember this season, right? This was when Madrid beat us in the Champions League final. He was the only player who scored in every knockout round of the Champions League. So I think
Mhm.
like the heart of a lion, if you will. You need that
Correct.
fiery spirit, and I feel our attack lacks that right now. I see shades of that in like Luis Diaz. He's
Hmm.
also got that hungry lion mentality. But apart from him, I think our attack's a bit tame personality wise, not like quality wise. So I think like yeah, sums it up.
Okay, and then I think finally we'll move to what are your expectations for the season. So, given that you finished in the Europa League last year, what would you consider a successful season from this squad?
Considering the fact that I'm in Ireland and the 2024 Europa League final is happening in Dublin, I think we'll start with the obvious. But knowing my club and knowing my manager, will probably make it to the Europa League final only to lose to some Spanish team again. But I think top
Hmm.
four probably like go deep in one of the cup competitions. I'm not saying win it because like we've never been a big cup winning team, you know what I mean? Like we're not huge
Hmm.
on like FA Cups and Carabaos. So I don't think we'll be winning any cups, like no Premier League this year. Like there's literally no team which is gonna stop City. That's pretty much like
Hmm.
league's pretty much wrapped up for you guys. Europa League, hopefully, I really hope we win the Europa League because, like, with the players we have, the manager we have, and the teams who are in the Europa League, more importantly, unless like big teams drop off from the Champions League, I think like we should be fine and we should win the Europa League. So let's hope that we do. That's my only expectation because like we'll get top four. Last season was a blip. Like I think like Newcastle will fall off this year. They had their
Hmm.
time, and Arsenal, I'm still. I mean, people compare Arsenal's this Arsenal team to that Liverpool team. We lost to
Hmm.
you guys by like 1 point on like 2, 3 occasions. I think we're a way better team than this Arsenal
Hmm.
team. They're just like a bit young and it's their moment. But I think my expectation will be like hope finish second, go into one of the cup competition semi-finals and try to make it deep into the Europa League, second or third in the Premier League. I think that's very much achievable.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Okay, I think that brings us to the end of this episode. Adi, thank you so much for
of
joining
course.
me
But thank you
today.
so much for
And,
having me.
hopefully you'll be a regular feature on this channel and we're going to do
If you
some
call me
really
more, I'll be here, man. You don't even call me, and now you're like,
perfect, perfect.
yeah,
So like, we're gonna be doing a lot of fun stuff, talking about a lot
yeah.
of different clubs, doing like tier lists, like
Big shit
ranking
coming
the
up
Premier League
soon, guys.
predictions. Exactly. So there's gonna be a lot of fun stuff coming up. So stay tuned. That's it from this video. Don't forget to check out my Instagram. If you like the video, do drop a like, do hit subscribe. Take care and peace.